Hey guys, welcome back to 6 Months to Sarah. I'm actually recording this video a couple days early because I felt the spirit move me. And yes, I'm wearing hoop earrings and a cheetah shirt, okay? I'm from Jersey. I've decided to embrace it, all right? I like hairspray, I like big ass. I'm wearing hoop earrings and a cheetah shirt, okay? I'm from Jersey. I've decided to embrace it. I like big hair, I like hoops, I like animal prints, all right? But I promised you that I would talk to you about the red flags of dating, and I am going to deliver. I'm not in a successful relationship. I've never been married, and I am a single mom with 2 different baby daddies, so. But that should tell you one thing. I know exactly what not to do. I know exactly the red flags, and even though I make mistakes continually, I still know in my mind what's right and what's wrong. I could write a book on dating, but you know, when you're on the outside, you can always give your friends advice, like when you see them with a total douchebag and you're like, how does that girl not see that guy's a douchebag? Well, because when you're in the situation, you want to see the good in someone. You don't want to believe that they are a certain way, but let's face it, every time something hasn't worked out, with an exception of a few things, we kind of know like, oh, I saw like a million red flags, but because I really like them, or because there was chemistry, or because they hit all the checks in my checklist of what I want in a man, I was willing to forgive a lot of the things. And I made a video early on about, you know, saving sex for commitment, which I still agree with. Just through this journey, I've stepped back and really been introspective in how I've dated and the mistakes that I've made. And even though I've still repeated the same mistakes, I'm very self-aware of things that I do. And I started to notice that I feel different. Though I still have my weaknesses with certain men or just certain types, I'm a little bit, actually a lot more aware of it. So I'm trying not to fall into the same traps. And if I do fall into the same trap, I'm trying to get out of it quickly and I remember the video about turning around quickly. Let's talk about women, okay? Because like I said, I'm always giving the perspective of a single girl because obviously I don't know how you guys think. I know you're pretty simple. You just want to eat a sandwich and watch football. No, I'm just kidding. That's stereotyping. I'm sorry. If you are a single girl and you've decided that you actively want to date or that you actively are looking for a serious relationship, that's great. I think it's great to first start and think about what you really want. So you need to, before you start actively dating or even putting it out there that you want to date, I think it's really important to define what you're looking for. Perfect world, I wish we didn't have to play games. Like I don't like to play games. I don't like to wait to text first. I'm kind of like, I wouldn't say I'm aggressive, but I'm a very straightforward person. Like if I want to say hi to you, I want to say hi. I don't want to wait 3 hours to text you back. I don't want to, I wish that we didn't have to do that. Sometimes we have to do it a little bit. I've learned how to slow my roll a little bit. Learning how to not play games while protecting your heart and guarding your emotions is a really tricky situation. But first, number one, you want to define what you're looking for. Say you're looking for a serious relationship, and really what you're looking for is a husband. You're looking for husband material. That's what I want. That's what I'm looking for. Now, every date, you're not going to be talking to a guy like they're your husband, or else you're going to be single for the rest of your life. So if you go out on a date and you're like, so when do you want to get married? You got to like ease into the serious questions. Not to mention, I want you to think about this for a minute. Think of the perspective like you are the prize, okay? Like a lot of women have this mentality like, I got to get a man. I got to get a man. So if you're desperate and for a commitment, you'll tend to settle because you're not looking at yourself like you're the prize. And I think that you need to act like a wife before you're a wife. Like I finally got that concept. It's like if you want to attract the right kind of guy, really do have to act in that way. Confident in what you want, be very open and honest about what you want without being too aggressive about it. So how do you do that, okay? So here's the key things. Now, if we want to talk about, there's so many different sectors, this video could go on for 20 minutes, but today I'm going to talk about the red flag. So let's say you're internet dating, right? A lot of us use Tinder. I've done it. You know, Hinge, freaking Bumble, Match.com, eHarmony, they're all the same. I look at it like thrift shopping. So when you go to a Goodwill, you're not going to find like a Gucci bag right on the first rack. You might find something amazing after spending an hour looking through all the dusty, nasty clothes that nobody wants. And that is exactly how internet dating is, my friend. It doesn't mean that you can't find cool or decent people in there. It just means that you really have to use your intuition and you really have to vet people properly to find anyone decent. So through a lot of bad experiences, bad dates, trauma stories, that could be a whole other video, I've learned certain questions to ask people. Like for instance, you do want to ask people right away, what are they looking for, right? So this is my key words. If a guy says, I'm looking for fun. I'm not looking to jump into anything. If it happens, it happens. If they keep it loose, like where, if I meet the woman in my dreams, sure, I'm open, but like, I'm also open to just having fun. No. If they use the word fun, just honestly move on. What they're trying to say is that a guy can't come out and say, I'm looking to just have casual sex, because he knows that most of the time any decent girl is going to be turned off by that. So what do? They say that they're open. They're open to the possibility, but they're okay with having fun in the meantime. And then we wonder why they don't want to commit, because they pretty much told you. And when you learn how to read how guys speak to you, your life is going to get a lot easier. So I've learned to kind of like listen to the verbiage that they say. So if they say fun or casual or, not looking to rush in, blah, 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 all those things, they're kind of like trying to wow them. You might be the girl that changes their whole bachelor mentality, but chances are they might really like you, but they're not going to want to look for a commitment. A guy will be very honest about what he's looking for with certain tweaks on how he says it. So he's not going to come out and say, I am looking for the love of my life. I am looking for a wife on Tinder. No, like most of the time guys on Tinder or whatever website, even Match.com, they do deep down inside, they do want a relationship. They do want to find the right partner, but they're not going to settle. Just like you should have the mentality of you don't want to settle. So if they don't want to settle, you definitely don't want to settle. So don't settle for something that you're not sure of. So if they give you those key words, it doesn't mean that you don't have to necessarily like totally dead them, but just make sure that you're honest about what you're looking for. So if a guy says that to me, I just right off the bat, I say, listen, that's great. I respect that. I am definitely not looking for a casual relationship. I am not looking to settle. I'm not looking to waste my time. I'm looking to really get to know someone and hopefully find a good match for me, but I'm not looking for casual sex or a casual commitment or a casual situation, sorry. So a lot of times, they'll kind of get the hint from that. If they still want to see you, they could. Guys also like a challenge. You need to remember, just you saying that could be like, oh, well, I'm still going to try to sleep with her, whatever. So that's definitely one red flag. Another red flag is if they're the opposite, if they're too much too soon. Let's say you meet a guy, you really like him, and he's like all about you, calling you babe, calling you sweetie, calling you all these names. First of all, I make a joke, like if a guy's calling you babe, it's because he's got like babe number 3, babe number 4, and he can't keep track of all his babes. So it's just easier to call you babe. So if a guy is like, rushing into it too fast, being too, oh my gosh, I've never met anyone like you. I've never talked to anyone like you. You're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. Oh. No. They probably said that to about 3 other girls that they're talking to at the same time. You want to kind of ease into a relationship like a friendship. There should be a natural progression. It should be mutual, but a guy shouldn't be like all about you after like the first date. I think that's a little much, and that can be infatuation, which usually tends to fizzle out really quickly. Also, another red flag is that if they are asking for sexy pictures or being too sexual right away, even if they say they might be looking for a relationship, and this goes not just for internet, this goes for real life too. If a guy hasn't even, went on a date with you and he's asking you for like sexy pictures, or he just wants to talk sexual right away, that is a huge indicator that he's going to, a guy will take what he can get. So if you feed into it, of course he's gonna like it, but that he's probably not going to like look for anything long term if you rush into like that like sexual situation right away. So just be careful of that. I'm not like some prude. I'm not telling you can't, do what you want. I'm speaking from someone who is looking for something real and legit and withstanding. So I think it's important to really like kind of lay down the law early of what you're looking for and make sure that you consider yourself to be someone that is of high regard, because if you hold yourself in high regard, you're going to attract a different type of man. I've noticed one thing is that, I kind of have a hard time saying no to people that I've cared about. So even in the past, there's guys in my life where they'll come back around and I have a hard time saying no, even though I know in my heart, this is not what I want anymore. I've evolved from this, but my people-pleasing side of me, especially with men, falls back into old habits. But I've noticed a switch in my brain where it's like, you know what? I'm not looking for that anymore. I'm not looking to be somebody's casual thing. I'm not looking to be someone's fantasy. I'm not looking to be someone's, once in a while. I'm looking to be a girl that brings value to your life, and I want a guy that brings value to my life, and I'm looking for something completely different, and I'm not settling for scraps anymore. So I think once you start to switch that part in your brain, the world is going to be your oyster. It doesn't mean that you're going to meet your boyfriend right away. It doesn't mean you're even going to meet a great guy right away, but it's setting the tone for a different type of man that's going to come into your life. So your dating is going to be different. You're going to carry yourself different, and you're going to weed through people really quickly. Don't be too much too soon. There's nothing wrong with saying how you feel and what you want and being confident in who you are and not playing games, but you also don't want to show your cards right away. Like, you don't need to go on a first date and tell them about your daddy issues or about your trauma and your childhood. Like, you want to have a little mystery. I mean, I don't think that's so much playing games as it is just kind of like getting to know someone is fun. It should be fun. If it's really hard and heavy right away, it's probably not the best situation for you to be in. If something is difficult and it's not flowing and you feel weird about it, honestly, there is probably something weird. Now, sometimes our insecurities just sabotage, but sometimes like you just know in your gut, like, you know what, this guy feels kind of like he's not going to commit, or you should probably listen to your instincts. Learn how to trust your instincts. Learn how to weed people out and be confident about it. That doesn't mean that you don't give certain people a chance. You don't have like a checklist of he's got to have this, there are people that are diamonds in the rough that they might need some time to get to know, and that's okay too. But what I'm trying to tell you is, through all of my dating experiences, because I've been single more than I've been in a relationship, I now know the red flags. Even if I continue to date that person, when it's all said and done, I'm like, well, I saw that. And through it, if you don't learn through your mistakes, then what are you doing? You know, like, I've learned a lot through my mistakes, through my hardships, through my heartbreaks, through my rejections. So now, going forward, I have some key things that I ask. I have some key phrases to watch out for, and I hope that, you know, if you are someone like me and you're looking to get out there again, maybe you haven't dated for a long time, maybe you're scared to get out there, maybe you feel like, you know, you aren't going to be able to vet people properly, maybe you feel like you aren't self-confident. Well, the first step I would say is really think about what you want, who you are, what kind of person that I wrote down, exactly the kind of person that I wanted to be with. I mean, values and morals are super important. So if you're dating someone who doesn't have any of the morals and values you have, that's another bad thing. You know, like, if I'm a Christian, you know, like if a guy says he's an atheist, it's definitely like something that I've forgiven in the past, and I don't judge for that. But it's like, if you're looking to build a future with someone, you want to make sure that they have similar values than you, because at the end of the day, these kind of things are what break people up. And if you're not just looking to have fun, if you're looking for something serious, you need to take it seriously. So there's a couple red flags going forward in your dating world. If you have anything to share with me, like maybe some horror stories, or maybe, you know, some things that I left out, because I try not to go on too long, even though it goes on too long. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear any of your motivation, but I hope you're having a great week, and I hope that you are continuing to live with a purpose. I'll talk to you next time.